If you guys are new here, for every one of my videos, at the very beginning there is always a quick little beatbox freestyle drop. Hope you guys enjoy it.
You're my heartbeat, the silent drum that's kicking me till I'm numb.
Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy LowTide, bringing you guys a brand new video. I'm back with some more Trick or Treat. I know it hasn't been long since I posted this, but I really want to get more of this game after just playing the prologue and it being actually sort of spoopy, or spooky, should I say. But so we're going to jump right back into it. This is a flashback, I'm pretty sure, of before the day. So let's go ahead and get into this. The only special thing that can be said about it is that it's October 31st. Far where the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least seemed like that. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man, you know. Basically, what needs to be playing in the background right now is the 21 Pilots, Stressed Out. Yeah. There were some who had good costumes, whether superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, "You will be the devil." Whoa. But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went from house to house, home to home, some said, when I went home to home, everyone said I was a tomato man. It's a superhero, of course, you know, where you throw tomatoes at people. But those things didn't matter to me, since we always had a good time. I'll fix my mic real quick. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. Except perhaps a scouting for acting like a child when I am 17 years old. But anyway, I can't live in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality. We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We are still not old enough to go to a disco, and I doubt guys at us. What? And I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. The other option would be go to a party, meet girls, and have fun. Everything perfect except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. Hey, Axel, let's have a couple matches. What do you think? What do you say? My friend Steven called my attention while playing with the game console. Ooh, what game are we playing? Rush Red, I believe that's what the game is called. A fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I don't feel in the mood today. I have no desire to play the game. Now. I replied with the discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Boring. The AI is no rival for me. I need a true challenge. Steven said with confidence. That you're playing on normal difficulty does not help your argument. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. You can pass the challenge to Alfred. I said, leading the attention to my other friend. I don't know how to play that, answered Alfred, doubting for a second. He's sitting behind the PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he is in Wikipedia. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. The actual problem with society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. He is one of those pseudo intellectuals always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than any others. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. He added later. What are you talking about? This village is small and its story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. The very fact it is a small town is the reason it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago, on this date, a man disappeared? So, what about it? I ask without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place, Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an arrogant gesture. There is a legend behind the disappearance. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed. Oh god. Whew! My computer almost crashed. Alright, give me a second. The game almost crashed. Come on, read this and learn a little, Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Stephen and I moved closer to read it. Town of Abridgton, Oxfordshire country, 1994. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I've seen many crimes, yes, some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they were people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham, 23 years, single. The last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drunk alcohol, but was still sober. Or at least, that's what witnesses said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with a simple drunkenness. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently he walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say stop, but the truth is we don't know what happened then. The tracks suddenly ended up in a clearing in the forest. And that's all. There was no evidence of struggle, no other pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, or anything else. The depths of this last footprint and the position they were in indicated that he was still walking. At no point he stood still. It was as if he had vaporized in thin air, with all his clothes in the middle of his walk. Obviously, I cannot believe such a thing, but I can give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints, okay, give me a second. I sensed the faint smell of rot. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think he suddenly started to decay and became earth. In the end, the case was enclosed in just 3 days. Enclosed. With no evidence of any kind, we couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, while officially there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in pace. Thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories, like maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew, but in the end they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and to my surprise I found 4 more, all young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. But there's more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this, and that is the separation of the years. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1924. Mitchell Smith disappeared in 1867. Jason Black disappeared in 1813. Yep, he's definitely got a point. It can't be the same person. Could be a family thing though. I don't know. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappearing in 1707. Jesus. Yeah, no, they can't be correlated at all unless it's like a family thing, Bob. It simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. It was then when I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually had a great story. Before it was called Oakwood or Oaks Forest, The place was called Witchwood. The word witch was huge similarity with witch, taking into consideration that it is an old name and language changes over time. That indicates that it was okay. That indicates that it is what it is, the forest of witches. Apparently more than 400 years ago, apparently more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all the information is already lost. Because that's a hell of a time. They were stories told in voice without a properly written record. I just know that with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes. Stop seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Salem witch trials? Apparently, the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, obviously, I cannot accept something like that as an answer. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each one of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Oh, and we left on the 31st, and I feel like that's where we went. We went to that forest. Watch. Interesting story. I didn't know that such a story was hiding in this town. I said honestly surprised, even if it is a lie. It managed to hold my interest. Wait, there's something more. Alfred said that at the same time he scrolls through the comments. We read what is written there. A couple of comments call our attention. Both of them talk about some creature. At the time, they felt a horrible fear for what could happen to them. Well, the two comments share great similarities, but they could have been written by the same person. There are many others that deny it. Looks like many people went to the forest because of the legend but couldn't find anything. I thought that you only read these things to look more cool before the girls, replied Stephen as a joke. Apple. Alfred giggles with a little shame. Partly yes. He admitted it. That was a secret everybody silently knew. Well, now we have an activity for tonight. What do you mean? We're going to the forest? Steven said at the same time. He makes a face overflowing with enthusiasm. What? Yeah, that's my response. I was completely lost. I thought we were just killing time. Simple. Let's go to that forest. Whoa, guys. Whoa. Steven replied without hesitation. Yeah, whoa, guys. Though we're putting our lives on the line just because of the story. I mean, I don't want to do that. You seem really fascinated by the story. Yeah, are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he just heard. You only needed to look at his face to know. Despite everything you've heard, you want to go? Of course. It would be a test of courage among us three. God, fuck you, Stephen. Replied Stephen, full of confidence, perhaps too much. He should relax a bit. Don't tell me you're afraid. No. Why should I be afraid? Answered Alfred at the same time. He folds his arms, making a false gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you are afraid, Alfred. Just wants to crash. Okay, this game really wants to crash on me. Almost as much as when you have to talk with a girl. And what about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Suddenly, Stephen asked me at the same time, looking at me mockingly. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. I hate that tone of voice he uses. I will never give you that. I said without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. Well, let's not say more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We're going to the forest, Stephen said, full of energy. Yeah! We three said in unison, as if we were going to have some kind of private party, not really knowing what we were doing or what we were going to find. 2:13 a.m. And we're back in the forest where we were. I awake completely confused, not knowing how much time had passed. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, click that like button. If you're new to my channel, click that subscribe button and meet up with me in another one of my videos. And click that notification bell if you want to keep up with the 25 days of Fright or just my uploads in general. So it will notify you on your email and on YouTube so you know when I upload. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Live, love, namaste.